Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for coming out to join us. We're going to be talking about, are you asking yourself, why am I not succeeding? That may be a question that has gone through your mind many times, whether it's in business or in life. Well, business is life. But you may ask yourself that question. Maybe you are in a online business. Maybe you have eBay. Maybe that's something that you're doing. Maybe you're on Amazon. Maybe you have a network marketing business. Your business can be anything. Maybe it's in your personal life. Maybe it's your family. Maybe it's your children. Maybe it's your husband. Maybe it's church. I don't know what that question is relating to. But today, what we're going to do is we're going to really, really, really dig in and help you find the answer to why you are not succeeding. Because we want you to succeed, right? So, with that being said, I want to, before we get started, I want to introduce my panel, ask them to come out and introduce themselves, and we can start with Eugenia.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are at this time, at this point in time. I am Eugenia Marin. I am from Bolivia, South America, currently residing in Reno, Nevada for the last 5 years. I love and I feel honored to be part of this panel of wonderful ladies. I'm a single parent of 2 teenagers who are very amazing, very respectful, beautiful kids. I feel honored and blessed today to be part of this panel. I want to encourage parents who are single parents like me to be able to have the freedom to work from home, to have a business of their own, and to encourage moms and dads who are single parents to move forward in life and be able to enjoy their life and enjoy the fact that they can see their kids growing up. Thank you, Rachel, back with you.
Thank you very much, Eugenia. I appreciate that, and so glad and honored to have you on the panel today. Next, we have on the panel with us Diane Klein. Diane, can you please come out and introduce yourself?
Sure, Rachel, thank you. Hi, I'm Diane Klein. I'm in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and I'm a work-at-home mom, a stay-home mom, and of 3 beautiful kids, and a spouse and wife of an amazing husband. What I do is I love to be online to empower women, moms especially, but also those that need to be debt-free. There's so much depression out there of people who are having so many debts, and they get scared and they feel fearful and they just get stuck. So I'm here to help those people to get through it, face it, and to just get behind it. And a quote I'd like to mention today is from Danny Johnson, and it's live life with a purpose, not by default.
Wow, that is awesome, Diane. Thank you very much for sharing, and we are honored as well to have you on the panel with us this afternoon. We're going to go ahead and get it started into our discussion, and what we're talking about today is facing what is not working. So after I was going through, looking over the material and studying it, I thought, we really, really need to read this again so that readers can understand, and those that are listening can understand the importance of facing what is not working. Oftentimes what we do is we just ignore it. We act like it does not exist. And when you do that, you actually cause more problems for yourself. So I just want to go ahead and get started with a reading. And we're on principle number 30. I don't know if either one of you have that right now. I can just start the reading, and then if you can just, after a couple paragraphs, I'll pick up and pull one of you out. So it says, face what isn't working. Facts do not cease to exist because they are ignored. Aldous Huxley. Our lives improve only when we take chances, and the first and most difficult risk we can take is to be honest with ourselves. Walter Anderson. If you're going to become more successful, you have to get out of denial and face what isn't working in your life. Do you defend or ignore how hostile and toxic your environment is? Do you make excuses for bad marriages? Are you in denial about your lack of energy, your excess weight, your ill health, and your level of physical fitness? Are you failing to acknowledge that sales have been a consistent downward trend for the last 3 months? Are you putting off confronting an employee who is not delivering at an acceptable standard of performance? Successful people face their circumstances squarely, heed the warning signs, and take appropriate actions, no matter how uncomfortable, challenging it may be. Remember the yellow alerts I mentioned when I taught you about the E plus R equals O in principles. Number one, take 100% responsibility for your life. Yellow alerts are all those signals you get that something not right. Your teens come home late from school again, strange notices show up in the company mail, the odd comments from a friend or neighbor. Sometimes we choose to acknowledge these alerts and take action. More often than not, we simply just ignore them. We pretend not to notice that something amiss to face what's not working in your life usually means you're going to have to do something uncomfortable. It means you are going to have to do something. It means you might have to exercise more self-discipline, confront somebody, risk not being liked, ask for what you want, demand respect instead of settling for an abusive relationship, or maybe even quit your job. But because you don't want to do these uncomfortable things, you'll often defend tolerating a situation that doesn't work. What does denial look like? Though the bad situation in our lives can be uncomfortable, embarrassing, and painful, we often live with them, or worse, hide them behind myth, widely accepted views, and platitudes. We don't even realize we are in denial. We use phrases like these: "It's just what guys do," "You can't control teenagers these days," "He's just venting his frustrations," "It's got nothing to do with me, I keep my nose clean, it's none of my business," "It's not my place to say," and the list goes on and on. Occasionally, we'll even make up reasons why something that is not working is working, not realizing that if we just acknowledge the bad situation sooner, it would often be less painful to resolve. It would be cheaper, the circumstances might be more beneficial, and the problem would be easier to solve. We could be more honest with everyone concerned. We would feel better about ourselves, and we could certainly have more integrity, but we have to get past our denial. Successful people, on the other hand, are more committed to finding out why things are going wrong and fixing them than they are to defending their own opposite position or maintaining their ignorance. In business, they look at the hard truth in real numbers rather than recalculate the numbers to look good to the stockholders. They want to know why someone didn't use their product services, why the ad campaign didn't work, or why expenditures are usually high. They are rational, in touch with reality. They are willing to look at what is and deal with it rather than hide it and deny it. Whoa, this is just so good stuff. I just can't wait to talk about it. Anybody else want to come out and read where it says know when to hold them?
Sure, Rachel, I'll read.
Thank you, Diane.
Know when to hold them. A big part of getting out of denial is to get good at recognizing bad situations and then deciding to do something about them. It always amazes me how difficult recognition and decision is for most people, even when it comes to alcoholism and drug addiction. With many addicts, their marriages fail, their businesses fail, they lose their house, and even end up on Skid Row before they realize their addiction is not working for them. Fortunately, most of our problems are less severe than drugs, but that doesn't make the recognition or decision any easier. Take your job, for instance. Are you in denial about what you would really like to be doing? Worse yet, do you consistently remark on how happy and fulfilled you are when you're not? Are you living a lie? Workaholics are a perfect example of this kind of denial. A high-pressure schedule can't possibly work long-term for anyone, but most workaholics will defend it with comments such as, "I'm making great money. This is how I support my family. It's how I get ahead. And I have to do it to compete at the office." As we've explored already, defending and justifying a bad situation is really just a form of denial.
Okay, you keep going. You keep going there. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just have to turn the page. Denial is based on fear. Often denial is based on the notion that something even worse will happen once we stop denying and take action. In other words, we're afraid to face facts squarely. Many a therapist can tell you that in spite of overwhelming clues that their spouse is having an affair, many patients wouldn't confront their spouse over it. They simply don't want to face the fact that the marriage might be over. What are some of the situations you're afraid of to deal with? your teenager who's smoking or doing drugs, a supervisor who leaves early but dumps his or her late projects on you, a business partner who doesn't participate fully or spends too much, your house payments or expenses that are becoming unmanageable, your aging parents who need full-time care, your health that is becoming a problem because of poor nutrition and life cycle, a spouse who's withdrawn, disrespectful, or abusive, not enough time for yourself and your children. Though many of the situations above require drastic changes in how you live, work, and relate to others, remember that the solution to these problems isn't always to quit your job, get a divorce, fire the employee, or ground your teenager. It may be more productive to choose less extreme alternatives, such as a discussion with your boss, marriage counseling, setting boundaries with your teens and siblings, scaling back your expenditures, and seeking competent professional help. Of course, these less drastic solutions still require you to face your fears and take action, but you have to face what isn't working first.
Thank you. Oh, go ahead.
The good news is that the more you face uncomfortable situations, the better you get at it. When you face just one thing that isn't working, the next time you have the slightest inkling, you're more likely to take action immediately.
I'm sorry, Diane. Thank you very much. I thought that was at the end. Eugenia, did you want to pick up?
Sure. Take action now. Make a list of what isn't working in your life. Start with the 7 major areas where you would normally set goals: financial, career, or business, free time or family time, health and appearance, relationships, personal growth, and finally, making a difference. Ask your staff, family, friends, class, group, coach, or team what they believe is not working. Ask, what's not working? How can we improve it? What request can I make? What do you need from me? How can I help you? What do we need to do? What action steps can we take to get each of these situations to work in a way I or we would like? Do you need to talk to someone? Call a repair person, ask someone for help, learn a new skill, find a new resource, read a book, call an expert, make a plan to fix it. Choose one action and do it. Then keep taking another action and another action until you get the situation resolved.
Wow, that was excellent. Excellent reading, and definitely something that we're going to have a lot of good things to talk about here. One, I want to kind of go back to the beginning of the book, or this particular principle, when he talked about, remember the yellow alert signs. Oftentimes, we'll get an alert sign, but what do? We ignore it, right? It's kind of funny. I remember when my youngest son was younger, they would the bus driver would like say little comments, and eventually I ended up getting a letter from the school, and that he was causing problems on the bus. But it started out with just getting comments from the bus driver, and oftentimes, when it came to me, it came as a shock of what was written on the note. So for me, I'm like, okay, what do we, I didn't know it. I didn't expect it, and I told my husband I'm literally in denial because I have a difficult time believing that he said these things. So oftentimes we will get some type of yellow alert. So let's pay attention to those yellow alerts. If you are not making any money in your business, that's a yellow alert. It's something that you need to really, really look at and ask yourself the questions that Jack presented in the back of the book. And if you need for us to repeat those questions, we'll be glad to do that. Or you can go pick the book up. It's called The Success Principles by Jack Canfield. You can go pick that up because it's an excellent book. So that is one thing I highly, highly recommend, is that you go back and you look and see what yellow alert signs are you getting from things in life. Anybody else want to come out and share what their thoughts or their takeaway was from this?
Go ahead, Diane.
Go ahead.
Okay, no, I was just going to mention something that you just said. It's easier to just avoid these yellow alerts because we don't want to come forward or move beyond our comfort zone. I kind of had those type of things going on with my kids, and it's really hard to recognize when they are going through tough times and they are starting to have these rebellious behaviors. And sometimes, it's easier not to confront them until things explode. That happened to me with my younger kid this year. And it was just that she was going through through very challenging times, and she didn't want to talk about them because she didn't want me to get sad or get preoccupied for her. And I wish she would have talked before. So we always have to be very attentive to those yellow signs before things get bigger. Back with you, Diane.
Thank you. I just wanted to say, it's so true that we are in fear and in denial, and it's not going to help us. And it's all a process. Like in our life, in the last 6 years, the stuff that we have been growing, it's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. And once you realize that, and you take the steps towards what needs to be done, like some of the examples that he's giving in here, to write that down. I wish I would have known that stuff like 3 years ago. I wish I would have sat down with a pen and paper and done what he's recommending for us here to do. But you know what? It's never too late. I can still do it. We're still a work in progress, and it just takes the effort and the time and the acknowledgement, and to acknowledge it, to sit down and start doing something about it.
Great information, Diane and Eugenia. Thank you very much for sharing. Another thing, a point that I want to bring out is, many people do not face their fear or face what's not working because they are afraid. They are afraid of what the consequences they may have to face. So instead of doing something about it, instead of realizing, okay, this is not working, they won't do anything. They'll just avoid it. And that's because fear is ruling them, and that's the reason why this platform was created, was because we want you to become fearless. We want you to become fearless in everything that you do, say, and touch. So just really want to bring that to your attention. A lot of people think that they're not afraid, but you really, in most cases, are afraid. And fear is the underlying cause of a lot of things that we will not do in our life that we should do. Moving forward, it says know when to hold them and know when to fold them, which means know when to keep doing what you're doing, maybe changing something, or when to just let it go. And a lot of times what happens is we don't know when to do either one of them. We don't know whether we should quit the job or stay. Whether we should get a divorce or stay married. Those are all these things that we kind of just don't know. We don't know what direction we should go in. For me, and I'll just use my example, what I like to do after 3 months, after I've done something for 3 months and I know I've given it my all, which means that I didn't slack, I didn't, put it to the back burner. If I know for 3 months that I have done my very best, then I know that that method is not working, so I need to go do something different. And I'm going to give you 2 examples. I'm going to give you one for business and one for life. For business, look at the business that you're in. And I will tell you, I've been in the network marketing industry for many years. And there was a lot of things that just did not work for me. Well, one of it was because I was just sitting there behind a computer, bound by fear of taking the next step. So if you're in that position, I want to encourage you to take action. You already have the knowledge. Just take the action that you need to take in order to get to where you're going. Now, one of the things that I want to caution you about or give you some suggestions on is, in our industry, I have found that it's really important that you get good at one skill. What are you good at? Is it driving traffic? Is it copywriting? What is it that you're good at? Are you good at building relationships with people? Are you good at talking? What are you good at? Until you answer that question, you won't be able to go forward in your business the way that you would like to. because you're going to attract people based on what you're good at. And if you're not good at it, if you think, wait, Rachel, I'm not good at any of those things, then I want to encourage you to go find one thing that you can really, really be good at. You know, if you're good at getting leads and driving traffic, do that. And just immerse yourself in that one thing that you're good at. And what's going to happen is you're going to start attracting more people to you. More people will begin to follow you because of what you're good at, right? So if you're not good at anything, it's going to be difficult for you to say or measure whether something is working or not, right? So that's one tip. The other I would say is, you know, after, you know, 90 days, I'm sorry, I was going to give you a family life example. I'll use my marriage, for example. I love marriage because so many people quit at marriage. That's like the very first thing they do. You know, oh, it's not working, so I'm going to quit. I'm just going to go get a divorce. That's not always the answer. A lot of times, it's easy for us to look at our mate, but it's difficult for us to look at ourselves, right? With that, for me, when I get to the point, excuse me, Diane, take over, please.
I think a lot of times when we think and we try to blame our spouses, it's actually us who should stand in front of the mirror and say, you know what? It's me that's the problem. I'm not present here. Because I always say to people, you know what? Do you think that guy or that girl with that physique, with that beautiful lean body, do you think he's not working on that? Do you think he does not work out, eat healthy, and have a nice lifestyle for himself? He does. He works at it. It's the same for a marriage. You can't sit there and say, you know what? Oh, my marriage is terrible and I don't have a good marriage. Well, have you tried working at it? Have you tried looking in the mirror and saying, okay, what am I doing that I should do better? Instead of just blaming your spouse and blaming your partner and stuff. So that's just kind of where I'm at, and I'm just kind of stepped in here for Rachel. But my point that I wanted to step out and say here is be present. Be there. Live for today, because if you're not present in what you're doing, then that's why the denial also comes in. We have to be present in our kids' life as they grow up, because we have to teach them to stay away from those drugs and those things. And don't push it under a rug when you see something wrong, because they do need you. Your kids need you to talk to them openly about it. Your spouse needs you to be open about it. Don't be in denial about anything. And for sure, as icing on the cake, be responsible. Take responsibility for your actions, because you know what? Chances are a lot of times it's also about you. It's not just about the other person. So that's what I wanted to share here.
Thank you, Diane, very much. I appreciate you taking over. I don't know where that came from, but thanks again.
You're welcome.
You know, so we've talked about, you know, recognizing that a situation exists, evaluating it. You know, one thing I want to share with you all, especially those of you that are doing like e-commerce right now. You know, there are going to be some months where you'll have a good month, or there'll be some months that you'll have a bad month. Look at when you have those months, you know, when you see things that are maybe they're not at the rate that you want them to go, then look at another source of income to go with that. Because if you know something works, right, you've seen the success in it, you know it works. It's kind of like the stock market. You know, one minute is up, one minute is down, but people that are in the stock market don't quit because they know it works, right? It's the same thing with your e-commerce business. So say you're on eBay. Maybe it's time to expand and go to something like Amazon. So you go get the training for Amazon training, and you start applying that. And then, you know, maybe it's time to become an affiliate of the program that you're in if it's really working that well. If you're seeing success in that program, then go become an affiliate of that program. Just make sure that you are always measuring what's working. If it's not, evaluate and then make some different decisions. You know, whether you should quit or whether you should actually look at, you know, improve your skills, or whether you should do something a little bit different. But a lot of times we don't do that. We just ignore it because we don't know what the next step is. And last thing that I want to bring out was, you know, remember when he talked about that? You know, taking action and you want to ask the people that are closest to you, you know, those questions. Let me see if I can find them for you, because I want to mention those questions to you again before we go. Okay. You know, ask them what's not working. You know, go to them. You know, this is your staff, your family, your friends, your class, your group, your coach. What's not working? I hope you got a pen and piece of paper. How can we improve it? That's the next question you ask them. What requests can I make? What do you need from me? How can I help you? What do we need to do? What action steps can we take to get each of these situations to work the way I or we would like? Do you need to talk to someone? Call a repair person. Ask someone for help. Learn a new skill. Find a new resource. Read a book. Call an expert. Make a plan to fix it. Choose one action and do it. Then keep taking another action and another action until you get the situation resolved. You know, that's really powerful, and I think that it's really a good place to stop and chime in to those who are listening in and see if they have any questions. Does anyone that's listening have any questions, or anyone, Diane or Eugenia, have any questions, or you want to make any comments about what we've covered here?
I just want to make a quick comment of a suggestion that I've been using in my life here the last 2 weeks. I've been reading the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Successful People, and one of the things he was talking about was, at the beginning of the week, write down one goal of what you want to accomplish that week. Start with 1 and eventually grow it to 3 or 5 or whatever. The first goal is, what would you like to accomplish in your personal life? Second goal is, what would you like to accomplish in your business life? And the third goal is, how about your recreational life? Like, what kind of things do you want to have to do within that week that you have not done or that you haven't been keeping up? Maybe it's walking, maybe it's going to the playground with the kids more, maybe it's going out for supper once a week or something. So I thought I'd just share that, because I thought that's so neat, that if we would write down our goals of what we want to do in all areas of our lives, it fits right in here with us to take the action.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for sharing, Diane. So just, just want to leave you with, make sure that you are facing your fears and not avoiding them. Look at your life, look and see what is working, what is truly, truly working for you, and then look at what is not working. And those things that are not working, one by one. Don't try to do them all at one time, because that's going to just frustrate you, and you'll find yourself like, like this doesn't work, or things of that nature. So just kind of like, make a list, and then prioritize which one is most important right now. For me, I'm at the point where mine is my house. I'm really at the house level. And I'm actually, what I've done is I've entwined my business to my house. So like the things that are in my house that I don't want to get rid of it, I'm putting it on my eBay business. So that's where my focus is now. Each one of you need to find a focus and know where you're going to be at, know where you're going to be at this season in your life. And remember, it's just a...
No, Regina, can you hear her?
Yes.
Can you hear Rachel?
I think she froze.
I think she froze. Yeah. Are you back, Rachel?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Okay,
Yeah,
now
I
we
can
can
hear
hear you. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear
I hear
me?
you there for a minute.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, but I was just saying,
Yes.
my goal is to crush the fourth quarter. There's some things that I need to help and get out of the way so that I can be free to give it all my all. So if anything else I can leave encouragement for you today is to get it done, get it done, get it done, get it done, so that you can go and live the life that you desire to live. Thank you very much for coming out and joining us today. We really appreciate you. If you have any comments, we would love to hear what you have to say. Let us know what was your takeaway. Did you enjoy the hangout? If there's some questions that you think or would like for us to answer for you, or if you have questions, please let us know. We really, really appreciate you. Take care, have a blessed day, and we will see you tomorrow, same time, same place, here at the Fearless Online Entrepreneurs. Bye for now.
We're still live.
Yeah.
So we just keep talking, and that's what.
Are we still live?
Yep. Oh man, and I think Rachel dropped off. Well, Eugenia, maybe we'll
Yes.
have to keep talking here for a minute until she comes back on and closes. Oh,
Yes.
maybe